태어나지 않게 해주세요 라고 빌면서 낮에 떨어지기도 하고 그러겠네. 안 보여 너?
기술자도 되고 그러는 걸까?
어디 가보고 싶은데?
제야의 정소리.
This time, I want to remind you that we often try to be good to others, but forget to take care of ourselves. Sometimes, we are so busy ensuring that the people around us are okay, but we don't realize that our lives also need to be saved. Before being a hero to others, we should be a hero to ourselves. Instead of being stuck in the past, we should enjoy the present and plan our future well. Keep your spirits up for those of you who are struggling. Enjoy your break and happy watching. This movie tells the story of a child who suffers from a rare disease that makes him look like someone 80 years old when, in fact, he is only 16 years old. This child is named Arum. His declining health prevents him from attending school, so he reads and writes daily. One day, he wrote a story about his parents' youth. Arum was born from his mother's womb when she was only 17. At that time, his father, Dae-soo, hesitated to care for and raise Arum because of the family's poor economic condition. Both of them were still high school students at the time. However, his mother, Mira, still insisted on giving birth and raising the child she was carrying. Mira is the only daughter of 6 siblings.
새똥으로 위장하는 벌레가 있거든.
When news of Mira's pregnancy broke out, her family seemed very upset with Dae-soo. On the other hand, Mira herself was seen being scolded by her father for her shameful actions. Even so, with her stubbornness, Mira still resisted and even denied the mistakes she had made. While still in school, Dae-soo can be said to be a naughty student. He was once part of the school's taekwondo team, but in one competition, he was disqualified for throwing a safety helmet at the referee and kicking the principal unconscious. As a result, he received a harsh reprimand from the coach. Unfortunately, when he returns home, he also gets a slap from his father after his father finds out that Dae-soo has impregnated Mira. Feeling upset and constantly scolded by his father, Dae-soo finally decided to leave home and never return. Although Arum comes with all his limitations, his parents immensely love him. Their life story was later featured in a television program titled Inspirational Family, which tells how Arum's family struggles to raise Arum with all the economic limitations. Dae-soo works as a taxi driver daily, while Mira only works as a factory worker. Mira's friend, producer Sung Chan, produced the television show that covers them. When bored of staying at home, Arum often follows his father to work, but sometimes, some passengers cancel their orders because they are disgusted when they see Arum's face. After returning from work one night, Mira and Dae-soo took Arum out to relax. When Dae-soo went to buy a drink, Arum wanted to catch up with her father, but unfortunately, he met a group of students who ended up bullying him. Fortunately, Dae-soo saw the incident and immediately took Arum away. However, the group of students called Arum a golem. Hearing that, Dae-soo becomes angry, and a fight ensues, so everything finally ends inside the police station.
우리 애가 몸이 좀 불편한데 애들이
나쁜 놈들의 이놈. 아저씨가 때렸잖아요.
After returning from the police station, Mira grumbles about Dae-soo's childish behavior of choosing to deal with children. However, Dae-soo reveals that he did it because the children called Arum a golem. Hearing that, Mira turned to support Dae-soo and looked upset with the children's behavior. Mira is a perfect mother, she always encourages Arum and is never ashamed of having a child like Arum. Likewise, Arum is challenging, never complaining or whining like other children.
잘못하면 이거 올해도 못 넘겨.
아름아, 아픈 데 있으면 얘기하랬잖아.
One day, when Arum was in pain while writing, he didn't want to trouble his mother. He rushed to find some medicine and took it himself. After that, Arum was surprised by an email on his computer. The message is from someone named Lee Seaha, a girl the same age as him. Seaha got Arum's email address from a television show that aired his family's story yesterday. As it turned out, Seaha was also sick, so she felt it would be a good fit to be friends with Arum. Since that day, Arum was always accompanied by messages from Siaha, just like someone in love. One night, Mira was seen crying and blaming herself for what had happened to Arum. She regretted her youth when she was pregnant with Arum, often wishing that her child would not be born, but unfortunately, unintentionally, Arum hurt her. This made Arum feel very sad. The next day, Arum is seen seeing the only friend he has, Mr. Jang. He tells Mr. Jang that he will be admitted tomorrow morning due to his declining health condition. Arum also tells Mr. Jang about how he now has an acquaintance named Siaha. Arum reveals that he decided not to reply to Siaha's messages anymore. Hearing that, Mr. Jang is seen encouraging and advising him to respond to the message better.
그냥 꼴린 대로 해, 꼴린 대로.
Arum is seen undergoing treatment at the hospital and placed in a special children's room because he is only 16 years old. However, because of his more aged appearance, some people cried because they were scared. A child openly called him grandpa. Seeing this incident, Mira immediately closed the curtain so Arum could rest peacefully. One day, some women visited Arum's hospital room, and after seeing her, they stated that Arum was a message sent by God to sinners. Hearing this statement, Daesu became upset and sent them away. In short, Arum replies to Siaha's message with a thank you for encouraging him. Since that day, they have often communicated through messages. A few days later, producer Sung Chan returned to Mira to offer to continue the second episode of the program featuring them. However, Mira refused the offer because Arum's health worsened daily. However, Arum, who overheard the conversation, finally accepted the offer from producer Sung Chan as he thought he was okay.
여기요. 난 상관없어.
While lunching with his mother, Arum accidentally saw the nausea medicine in Mira's bag. However, Mira quickly closed it and said it was a regular vitamin. On the other hand, Daesu, now working odd jobs to make extra money to pay for Arum's treatment, looks very happy because he got an offer to escort a concert starring Girls' Generation. On the way to Arum's hospital room, Daesu is seen grinning, imagining how lucky he is to escort Girls' Generation personnel while carrying several packs of his son's favorite fried chicken. Unfortunately, when they arrived at the hospital room, it turned out that Arum was not allowed to eat the food because he was going to undergo laboratory tests. The following day, Mr. Jang visits the hospital to see Arum. While chatting, Sung Chan's producer accidentally passed in front of them. Arum greeted and thanked him because, thanks to his broadcast yesterday, Arum could get to know and befriend Siaha. Here, we can see that Arum admires Lee Siaha.
아저씨한테 고마운 거 있어요.
아, 그렇구나.
덕분에 좋은 친구가 생겼는걸요?
One day, producer Sung Chan revisits Arum to ask for Siaha's email address to bring Arum and Siaha together. However, Arum hesitated because he feared Siaha would reject the invitation. During the filming of the second episode, it was seen that Arum's health was getting worse, and his eyesight was also diminishing. Because of this, Arum asked Siaha for a photo because he wanted to see Siaha before losing sight. Unexpectedly, Siaha granted Arum's request by sending a photo of her beautiful hands. After that day, Siaha did not send another message for 10 days, worrying Arum. In addition, Arum's health condition is also getting worse, so the dosage of his medicine must also be increased every day. Realizing his condition was getting worse, Arum openly asked the doctor when he would die. Arum also said that it was tough to wait for death without certainty, and because he continued to be urged, the doctor finally said that he only had 2 months left. Realizing that he only has a short time left to live, Arum asks Mr. Jang to buy him some liquor because he wants to taste alcohol before he dies. However, Mr. Jang refuses to fulfill this ridiculous request and leaves Arum alone. One day, Arum accidentally learns a bitter fact that hurts him. He overheard Sung Chan's producer asking Mira to keep something secret from Arum. However, it was too late because Arum had heard everything. As it turns out, Lee Siaha doesn't exist. Siaha was just a fictional work of fiction made by director Sung Chan, who paid people to pretend by sending messages to Arum to create an exciting scenario for his new movie project. Since that incident, Arum's attitude changed drastically. He began playing games more often until he was late taking his medicine. When Dae-soo was about to take the game console from his hand, Arum fought back, causing his food to fall. Dae-soo becomes angry at Arum's attitude. However, Arum says he wants to do what he loves before dying. Hearing their son's bitter statement, Dae-soo and Mira leave the room and cry. When Dae-soo was about to leave for work, Arum asked to come along because he wanted to see the sky and stars with his father. Because he couldn't bear to refuse his son's request, Dae-soo finally invited Arum. Afterwards, they stopped by the park to lie down and look at the stars together. After seeing a shooting star, Arum's vision becomes blurry and he can't see anything. Knowing this, Dae-soo became worried and immediately carried the child back to the hospital.
무슨 소리야?
나 눈이 안 보여요. 제가 아빠 어머니를 나인데.
Upon arrival at the hospital and after undergoing an examination, the doctor said that what happened to Arum could have occurred due to excessive stress. Hearing the doctor's statement, Mira told Dae-soo about all the lies told by producer Sung Chan. Dae-soo immediately looked for the address of Sung Chan's messenger to teach him a lesson. When he got there, Dae-soo immediately beat the disguise. However, because he saw the poor condition of the disguise, he couldn't bear it and vented his anger on the wall. Dae-soo then cried while telling his son's current condition. Hearing this, the disguise invited Dae-soo to drink together. At that time, the disguise gives a poem that Arum sent him. After Dae-soo saw and read the poem, it told about a father figure, making Dae-soo remember his father, whom he had never visited. Feeling slapped by his son's poem, Dae-soo, that night, also went to the house he had left for years. There, Dae-soo met his father. He finally discovers that his father receives the most donations for Arum's treatment. It was knowing that he immediately cried out of sadness. Before going home, his father also gave a hat to his grandson. It also made Dae-soo even sadder because it turned out that all this time, he didn't know if his father still cared for and loved him. One day, Mr. Jang met Arum in his hospital room. Mr. Jang was shocked because Arum could no longer see him. As it turns out, Mr. Jang came to the hospital to give Arum the requested drink. It was snowing, and they enjoyed their drinks while singing. Afterwards, Mr. Jang says goodbye to go home and says that it was their last meeting because, after this, he will live in a nursing home due to his advanced age and senility. Before saying goodbye, Arum held Mr. Jang's hand for a long time because he was his only friend. When Christmas came around, the parents had to allow Arum to ask for anything this Christmas, as they had a lot of savings. However, Arum didn't want anything. He just wanted to listen to the New Year's bells in the middle of the city and ask his father to print the paper he had made on his tablet. Long story short, on New Year's Eve, Dae-soo asks the doctor for permission to take Arum out to celebrate the New Year. However, they are stuck in their cars during New Year's Eve traffic due to the traffic jams. At that moment, Arum hugged his mother and later conveyed his message to his brother. Mira was surprised that Arum found out that she was pregnant. Afterwards, Arum gave his mother a gift in the form of a paper that Dae-soo had previously printed. Arum asked his mother to read it so they could listen to it together. After Mira read the work, Arum said, "I will miss you both." Not long after, Arum breathed his last on New Year's Day. Mira and Dae-soo could not hold back their tears because the child they had been fighting for had returned to the creator. Thus, the movie ended.